I'll go, hey, everybody. You're listening to We Don't Watch Movies. With me, Monze.
And me, Corinne.
Yay!
Yay!
Alright, so I'm really excited about today's episode because I really want to watch this movie. Everyone talks about this movie. I've never seen it. Corinne, you've never seen it, correct?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Okay, so we're talking about Weekend at Bernie's. It's currently on Hulu at the time of this recording, so I do want to watch it.
Oh yeah, I heard that Hulu's been merching it.
Yeah, so I hope I'll try. I really want to watch it this weekend, which is why I suggested this movie.
Yeah.
So Corinne, do you know anything about Weekend at Bernie's?
I know the premise.
Okay, what's the premise then?
I know the premise is like two guys somehow end up in a cabin or something. I don't know the specifics, but they're pretending that this old man named Bernie is alive by walking around with him and like just puppeting him around as if he is alive even though he is dead. I know that's the premise. I almost watched this movie years ago with my first mistake because he wanted to watch it and we just didn't make it very far into it. So, but I don't even, he wanted to watch it, but I don't think I've actually seen any of it. I think he just talked about it and we just never watched it. So I know it's the dead guy's in the middle and they put the sunglasses on him and like the cane or whatever and the two of them are like carrying him like he needs their help.
He did it. He did it.
He did it.
He pushed open the door and walked in all dramatically.
But yeah, that's all I know about the movie. I think there's a cabin. I think it's their uncle, but I don't know. And for some reason I think they think that they killed him. So that's why they're trying to make it seem like he's alive because they don't want to get framed for his murder. That's what I think.
I'm up here. Yeah. Okay. I literally didn't know anything about this movie. I still don't know anything about this movie. All I know is that someone is dead and they Weekend and Bernie's it, which is they pretend like he's not dead. Which I'm assuming they put sunglasses on him and they just carry him around and like mimic that he's doing things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly don't know anything about this movie. That's all I know. All I know is that. Because whenever people are like, oh, well, Weekend at Bernie's it, or oh my god, are you gonna Weekend at Bernie's it? Like, it just means you're gonna pretend like this dead person is not dead.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like that's all I know. So and I figured this out not by looking up the movie, but through context of people saying it all the time, and then like being like, okay, with this dead body, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what I mean. So like, I literally, I don't know anything. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Do we have an idea of what the movie might be about?
I think it's two brothers or cousins or friends, two very close male characters, go to a cabin with their Uncle Bernie for the weekend. Okay. He is at first alive and then dies.
He's first alive and then he dies.
I think he dies of a heart. Maybe they scare him to death. And then they have to keep pretending he's alive because they're scared they will be framed for his murder. Or maybe it's two people were gonna rob this guy, and then he died. And then
mid-robbery.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh my god, we don't want to be framed for this. So they pretend that he's still alive, and they act as if they are his family member. So they call him like Uncle Bernie, and they act like they're cousins, and they're like, oh my god, how long do we have to keep doing this? Maybe Bernie has like ties to the mob or something. So that like the scenario just gets like more and more and more and more. And they're like, oh my god, who is this dead guy? I don't know what to do. So I think that's I think that's what it is. I think two people were gonna rob him. They scared him to death, or he died of a heart attack, or is in a coma, and the surprise is that he hasn't been dead the whole time. He like wakes up at the end or something. And they walk around with him to avoid being charged with murder by pretending to be his relatives and pretending he's alive by puppeting him around. That's what I think it's about.
Okay. I have literally no idea, so I'm not gonna say anything. were two guys involved. Because you're seem very positive about that. And I'm just like, I don't even know anything.
I'm pretty sure but I might be wrong, because it's just like a vague idea. Funny, like last night actually, my friend was telling me about this movie. His Jesse was like, "Oh, Weekend at Bernie's is on Hulu. I keep getting advertised." And I'm like, "We're gonna talk about that tomorrow." And then he like started talking about it, but I've like totally forgotten what he said, which is good.
It was so unmemorable.
We were
so
painting.
boring. That's what it is.
It just went
so boring.
One ear out the other.
I'm
like, okay, well that's good because I don't remember. He was already like, I'm not gonna tell you more because you're gonna talk about it, but yeah.
Okay. I sent you a link to the trailer. I don't know if you saw.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Me too.
Don't you see? We just uncovered a $2 million error. We're gonna be heroes. We're going up the corporate ladder.
We're going up the corporate ladder.
To fraud the company.
Somebody tried to smoke it past the wrong guy.
Very, very good work. How would you two like to come to my house at the beach?
Love to.
That's a terrible outfit. I like how they got invited to his house and they were like, that makes sense.
This is a place to die for.
You have to kill them, Vito.
Oh.
It'll come back for me.
Well, they want to kill them?
Oh.
Don't realize
No, we'll stand out here all weekend. Come on, we're house guests.
is while they're checking in,
Forget the accident with the two guys. Take care of Lomax.
Bernie Lomax will be checking in.
Oh my god!
What kind of a host invites you to his house for the weekend and dies on you?
Oh.
I don't know.
Lomax told whoever he's talking to not to kill us if he's around, right?
Yeah, but Lomax is dead. He's not around anybody anymore.
I know that. You know that. Nobody else knows that.
That's
okay.
why they're dragging his body around. It's a wig.
Oh my god! Not a toupee!
Oh my god, they...
Oh, Bernie, you animal, you are insatiable.
Doesn't anyone realize?
I know! Oh my god!
Vito, I'm telling you, Lomax is alive. Maybe Paulie is rustier than we thought.
Ooh, Bernie, you're starting to peel. Want to get you out of the sun, huh?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
How do I know, Richard? Should I stop and ask you? Just drive.
Could you imagine being the actor who plays Bernie? Like, you're just pretending to be dead the entire time.
It's a lot of body muscle.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
It's just Bernie.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Huge?
Are we doing it again today?
Oh, absolutely. You know we are.
Great, we'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ladies. We'll see you later.
Oh my god.
God, this is great.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, he would smell. He would smell, he would be decomposing.
Oh my god. How long does it take a body to decompose?
How? Google that. Google
I'm Googling it right now.
Please. It takes
In a
decomposition
temperate,
starts in hours, I think.
in a temperate climate, it requires 3 weeks to several years for a body to completely decompose into a skeleton. But how early... Here we go. Stages of decomposition. Okay, fresh. Fresh stage. This is before rigor mortis. But within 3 to 6 hours, the body enters rigor mortis.
36 hours?
3 to 6 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Visual changes caused by decomposition are limited during the fresh stage, but you might see some blisters. Then you enter bloat. I don't know when this happens though. Ew. But they're in a hot tropical area.
Yeah, so that would be starting faster.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I'm sure this movie is not going for realism.
No, I know, but I'm just like thinking like.
Yeah, the implications. Okay, so I'm a little off. But there are mafia ties.
Okay,
Yeah. I think I'm gonna I mean the trailer kind of shows you the whole thing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to get into reading
Okay, yeah, I have it.
Okay. Who's the guy with the eyebrows? Tall one.
Like the actor?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me get into this. Silverman? I don't know what his... We can look him up later. So Larry Wilson, Andrew McCarthy, and Richard Parker, somebody Silverman, are two low-level financial employees at an insurance corporation in New York City. While going over actuarial
Yeah.
Actuarial reports, nailed it.
Yes.
Richard discovers mismatched payments. Richard and Larry take their findings to the CEO, Bernie Lomax, who commends them for discovering insurance fraud and invites them to his Hamptons Island beach house for the weekend. Okay. I can't believe they trusted the CEO. Unbeknownst to Larry and Richard, Bernie is behind the fraud. Nervously meeting with his mob partners, Bernie asks to have Larry and Richard killed and arrange it to look like a murder-suicide. However, after Bernie leaves, the gangsters decide Bernie has been attracting too much attention with his grabbiness, as well as his fooling around with the girlfriend of one of the mobsters, and order that he be killed instead. Bernie arrives at the island before Larry and Richard and speaks to the hitman Paulie, on the phone, planning the murders and establishing an alibi, unaware the conversation is being recorded on Bernie's answering machine.
Oh.
Oh my god. Bernie then plans cash and a fake confession note implicating Larry and Richard in the insurance fraud. Paulie arrives, injects Bernie with a fatal overdose, then plants heroin on him. Oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
When Larry and Richard arrive at the beach house, they find their boss's body. Before they can call the police, however, guests arrive for a party that is a regular event at Bernie's house every weekend. To Larry's and Richard's amazement, the guests are all too engrossed in their partying to notice their host is deceased, with Bernie's dark sunglasses and dopey grin from the fatal injection concealing his lifeless state. He looks as normal as possible, like he usually does. Fearing implication in Bernie's death, there you go, Larry proposes he and Richard maintain the illusion that Bernie is still alive, a notion that Richard finds absurd. Naturally, I think anyone would find that absurd. Only the arrival of Richard's office crush, Gwen Saunders, convinces him to go along with Larry's plan. After the party, Richard and Gwen enjoy a romantic walk on the beach, but Bernie's body, after being carried out on the tide, washes up next to them, prompting Richard to return to the house and get Larry to help him retrieve the corpse.
Oh no.
Could you imagine just like being there and like that dead body washes up and you're like, don't look. Vito's girlfriend Tina arrives at the house, convinced Bernie has been cheating on her, and she finds two young men. No, she threatens Larry and Richard with a knife, so they direct her to the bedroom, but she also fails to realize Bernie is dead. How is everyone...
Is he just like constantly zonked out every time he's at the Hamptons?
Is he just like crap? Yeah, like, it has to be, right?
Yeah, he's just always high on something.
At that moment, another man from Vito's gang witnesses the two of them apparently making love.
Oh my god.
Fooled into thinking Bernie's assassination failed, he notifies Vito, who orders Paulie back to finish the job. Oh my goodness. The next morning, Richard is appalled to discover that Larry is furthering the illusion Bernie is alive by manipulating his corpse's arms and legs. The two bicker about alerting the police until Richard attempts to call the police himself, but instead activates the phone message detailing Bernie's plot against them. Unaware of the circumstances of Bernie's death, they mistakenly believe they are still the targets of a mob hit and decide to use Bernie's corpse as a prop for protection. Polly, in the meantime, has returned to the island and throttles Bernie's corpse. Does he realize that he's dead then when he beats up Bernie's corpse?
Maybe the whole movie he like keeps killing him over and over and keeps seeing him alive. And it's like, why?
God.
What
That's
kind
really
of
funny.
Rasputin thing? Like, why is he not dying?
You say Rasputin?
Yes.
Anastasia? Come, my children. Okay, Richard and Larry make various attempts to leave the island, but Bernie's body becomes repeatedly misplaced and recovered in the process. How do you misplace a body? They attempt to board the mainland ferry with Bernie in tow, but the ferry has already departed. Polly, who was on board, sees what looks like Bernie running with Richard and Larry on the dock and gets frustrated at the failure of his assassination. An ill-fated attempt to use Bernie's speedboat results in numerous mishaps. Larry pulls away from the dock without first untying the boat. Richard falls overboard, and a tied-up Bernie topples from the boat and smashes into several buoys as he is dragged through the water. We saw that in the trailer.
Yeah. Which should have
Finally,
totally obliterated the corpse. But...
Yeah, it would have, yeah. It would have definitely, like, it would not have been contained. They would have, like, looked and it would have just been, like, an arm on the, tied to the rope. Oh, shoot. Where was I?
The body keeps hitting.
No, I clicked the thing and it
okay.
went to the top. Polly, unfortunately, sees them and assumes that Bernie has apparently survived. Oh, no, wait. Finally, the boat runs out of fuel and Larry and Richard are forced to float back to shore on Bernie's body. Oh, my God! Polly, unfortunately, sees them and assumes that Bernie has somehow survived. Unhinged at his apparent failure to kill Bernie and Bernie's inexplicable immortality, Polly returns to the island to finish the deed. I feel so bad for Polly. Like, he's just trying to do a job. Like, he's just trying to do a really good job.
Yeah.
And these jerks keep messing with him.
He values his work. He's got a good work ethic, and he's a completionist.
He loves his job.
Yep.
You can't fault a man for that, even if his job is being a murderer. At the house, Gwen confronts Larry and Richard, who confess that Bernie has been dead since their arrival. At that moment, Polly suddenly appears and empties a pistol into Bernie's chest, then turns his attention to Larry, Richard, and Gwen, but fails to shoot them as he exhausted all his ammunition. Chasing after the trio, who have split up in different parts of the house, Polly corners Larry, who clumsily manages to subdue Polly with a punch and a phone cord. Richard and Gwen then alert the authorities. The police eventually arrive to place Polly under arrest for first-degree murder, carting him off in a straitjacket as he continues to insist Bernie is still alive. Oh my God. The film ends with Bernie being loaded into an ambulance. However, his gurney rolls away and topples off the boardwalk, dumping him onto the beach right behind Richard, Larry, and Gwen, who run away after noticing him. Eventually, a young boy comes along and starts to play with Bernie, scooping buckets of sand over his lifeless body.
Oh my God.
He would have been, like, so gross.
Yeah.
He would have smelled bad.
Yeah.
It would have been... Oh my God. Oh my God.
He would have started leaking. He would have entered bloat.
Yeah, he would have been, like, moving at weird times. Like, it would have been really gross. Oh my god.
Okay, but that concept is really funny.
It is a really funny
That
concept.
is really funny.
The tagline for the movie is Bernie Lomax would be the perfect host, except for one small thing. He's dead. Oh my god.
Is Richard the tall one with the eyebrows, or is he the short one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what
And
I
Larry's the short one. Terry Kaiser's stunt double suffered a few broken ribs during filming, most in the scene in which Bernie is dragged around the surface of the ocean bumping into metal floating obstacles. That is not shocking to me at all.
That was a real human? I thought they were just using a dummy.
It did look like a dummy, right?
Yeah,
In
I was
the
like,
trailer, it
there's no
100%
way.
looks like a dummy.
There's no
It
way
was
that's
the
a
80s.
human.
It was the 80s. Like, they did whatever they wanted.
They could have just gotten away with a dummy.
No, it would have been real enough. The weight. It wouldn't have had the weight of a human body. Oh my god. Huh. This was considered a vehicle for Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Early in production, Ford was decided to make the leads older. Interesting.
Corey Feldman, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was, there were like all the Coreys in the 80s that were like famous. He was in Goonies, I think.
Okay.
He has a weird face. Yeah, he has a weird face. He's like a weird baby face, even now.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was in the Goonies. And I think so was Corey Haim. Or maybe I'm making that up. No, he's in Lucas, The Lost Boys.
It's a film series.
Yeah, there's a second movie.
Oh.
Oh, you looked up.
I'm looking it up.
It was inspired by a very low-budget 1983 Hindi film.
Wait, where are you seeing the Corey part? Are they actors or are they
I'm at
production people?
No, they were actors. This was, I'm in the trivia section of IMDb.
Oh, okay. Let me go there. Who did they play?
In what?
Weekend at Bernie's.
They're not in this movie.
I'm confused.
Oh, what are you confused?
Oh, okay. They were almost in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what
now I
I
understand.
said.
Now I understand.
Despite the film's title implying an entire weekend at Bernie's, the movie depicts the characters arriving on the island, home of Bernie's Beach House, at 6:30 p.m. on a Friday, and the movie ends around late afternoon, early evening Saturday. So it's really like 24 hours with Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me feel a little bit better because he wouldn't have been smelling as badly.
Yeah.
But he still would have been a horrible, disgusting corpse. Like,
yeah. Okay, now I know why the Corey sounded familiar. Because Corey Haim, he was the one who told Feldman that he was sexually abused. And then there was this article I read about, like, all the child abuse that goes on in Hollywood, and it kind of centered around the two Coreys. Because then Haim died in 2010. Okay. Not a great association with them, but that's where I heard the names.
I like this quote. Mugger, give me all your money and your wallets, Larry. Ah, get your ass out of here. It's too hot.
He said it's too hot for crimes.
It's too hot for crime. Alright. Well, that was an interesting movie.
Okay. What
It
What
made
do you
30
think?
million worldwide.
Wow.
No, domestic, sorry. No, yeah, worldwide it made 30 million. I still want to see this movie. I'm glad I know what happens because I probably would have been on edge the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
As I get with like really quirky movies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I didn't realize it was going to be like a mob hit aspect, so that's kind of funny, the fact that this guy is just constantly trying to kill Bernie, who's already dead. I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, like, no one is, like, cluing in on the fact that this guy is dead. Like, that is so... That's, like, a really good premise. Like, it's a really good hook, you know? Like, I can see, like, why this movie was really popular and made a lot of money, and, like, why it's still in, like, you know...
Yeah.
The pop culture.
Yeah, it's, like, I could see why it was made. The premise is just so simple, but you can do so much with it, and it's...
No, yeah.
It's so ridiculous, but there's a part where it's like, oh, I guess it could work. It's just so... There are, like, some movies around where I'm just like, this is just such a clever premise. Like, it's just so smart, right? And this is one of them. It's like, this is really funny. And, again, the idea of the hitman being like, I killed you. I killed you twice. Why are you still alive? Even though, like, the guy is actually dead, he just thinks he's alive.
He's dead.
Funny. Yeah.
I still, like... Just being that actor and just being like, okay, you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dragged around with these two other actors. Just pretend that you're dead. Okay, you're just gonna be sitting here, pretend like you're dead. Like, that's it. Like, that's you for the, like, most of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, talk about an easy gig.
Well, you'd have to, like, force yourself to be relaxed the whole time.
I guess that's true. That is rough. Sometimes I'll, like, relax just, like, laying down. I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Relax. I need to be tense.
Exactly. And, like, if you're getting, like, dragged around, you can't, like, be like, no. You know, there's a lot of, I think, fighting against what your body really wants to do. So you'd have to, like, force yourself to be loose and relaxed and whatever. So, yeah. But
I guess that's true.
Still, it's kind of funny that they just kept the actor there.
Yeah, I thought it would be like a dummy, but it's not. It's literally just the actor.
Yeah. I definitely didn't realize it was, like, on the beach. I definitely thought it was, like, in a cabin.
In a cabin in the woods?
Yeah, I thought it was a cabin in the woods, and they would, like... I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I thought. So, interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting that it's... What is it? On the beach? That wasn't what I was gonna say. But sure. I think I had, like, when I thought of Weekend at Bernie's, sort of like a murder mystery kind of deal. Like, they weren't the only ones in the house, I think, was where I was probably leaning more towards, even though I didn't say what I thought the movie was about. Like, I think that would have been, like, well, yeah, because it's, like, a clever premise, right? Like, you could work in any sort of situation, right? Like, let's say it's a whole bunch of people are like, oh, no, we're all here for Grandpa's will reading or whatever. We're like, we'll have to sign it, and then he shows up dead, right? Like, okay, but he needs to not be dead, right? Like, I think that there are lots of fun ways that this could be played. So it was really hard to pinpoint. Because, like, even you, like, you're, like, they're burglars, and, like, they're like, we don't want to get in trouble for murder and burglary, you know? Like, I think that idea was also, like, really, like, that's interesting and that's fun. Like, I think that there's a lot of ways to play with this premise, specifically.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, like, in the... There he is, pushing that door open again. Coming in, all dramatic. It's too much in the culture. It's like, oh, well, this is just, like, a Weekend at Bernie's ripoff, I think. So I think it's also sort of ruined, like, the chance for something new to be made out of that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm curious, like, did a concept or plot point like this exist before? or did it not really get popular until this movie? Because I feel like there are movies that have been made since then that have like what you were describing with like we have to pretend grandpa's alive or whatever. Maybe it's not the whole plot of the movie, but it's like a part of the movie, right? I've seen things similar to that where someone's either knocked out or dead or sleeping or whatever, and they like pretend that they're alive. So it's just interesting how influential that movie was just for like that one trope of like let's pretend this dead person is alive and fool everybody to the point where it's named after the movie.
Yeah,
So.
you just say, oh, we're gonna Weekends at Bernie's it, you know, it's gonna be, oh, like Weekend at Bernie's, like that's it. Like there's no like smaller way to say it, right? Like it's always just like let's just say the entire title of the film and we'll all know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Which is funny because you could say, well, just pretend the dead person's alive. But it's like, no, we're going to Weekend at Bernie's
Weekend at Bernie's it. We gotta pull a Weekend at Bernie's.
Have like fishing wire attached to the thing and tie them to our shoes. And
finally, my time has come.
The winner of the potato sack race, their gifts will finally be used.
Yes.
I wasn't good at potato sack. Or three-legged race.
Yeah, I was like, potato sack. I'm like, I'm just say yes and hope that's it. I'll just say, I don't want to certify. Okay, yeah, sure. No, yeah, three-legged race.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. Hopping? Jumping?
I meant three-legged race. That was what I saw, but what came out of my mouth was potato sack.
It was a potato sack. Good, correct yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Good, perfect.
So.
If you hear like metal on metal, it's George's collar hitting his
food bowl.
His food bowl.
All right.
I'm not talking about you.
So then, what would you rate this movie?
3.5.
Okay.
I kind of want to go 4. I'm gonna go 4.
I'm feeling 4 on it, just because it feels fresh and we know how culturally significant it was. And it like the hook is just so funny. Like it's so good and original, at least from my standpoint, from my vantage point. Like how great is that? It's like the theme for like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. It's like sometimes it's just so simple but it's so effective and then everyone like instantly remembers it, you know. It feels like that.
Yeah. Beethoven 6. No, off the top of my head.
It's the da 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 da. You know it.
That one. See, that's what we have to do is go da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I would know.
Yeah.
Don't give me its name like I know what that means.
It's like the theme for Star Wars. Simple but effective. Yep.
That wasn't it. I was just humming.
It was
fool!
A little part of it. Like an interlude. Alright, yeah, I think I give it like a 3.5 or a 4. I think I'm hesitant to give it a 4 because I don't know how the humor sits. I'm not sure what the script is, and I'm wary because it was an 80s movie, right?
80s rowdy boy movie, so it's probably gonna be pretty dumb.
Yeah. I can handle dumb. I just don't know how problematic it may or may not be.
Oh, it's probably gonna be slightly problematic.
Yeah. So that's the only reason I'm waiting on the 4. But I think definitely at least a 3.5.
Well, I can watch it and let you know.
Alright, I might watch it too. Let's see.
I'm trying to think if I ever told you that I watched Pacific Rim 2.
What did you think?
Yeah, I wanted to wait for the pot because I was like, it's the movie we talked about.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little like, let's just get these children to pilot these Jaegers. I was like, why are we using children?
Yeah.
Why are we using child soldiers? That was the part I was like, wait, what?
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
I guess, but I was like, they're just, and they were literally like, we're just getting them younger and younger because they have a better like neurological like connection. Like,
Yeah.
you connect when you're younger. I'm just like, child soldiers. And when that kid died, the Indian kid, right?
Yeah.
I was so sad.
I
like,
was pretty sad.
Serious?
Yeah.
You couldn't kill stupid Scott Eastwood? You couldn't kill someone else? Anyway, I was upset about that.
Yeah, I was upset too. I didn't like that shot of it. He didn't have much character development, but I still liked him, and he was in one of my favorite Jaegers.
Yeah.
But I knew he was gonna die because he kept being like, "I'm never gonna be in a Jaeger. I'm never gonna be on the field." And then he was on the field. I'm like, "This is the last thing he's gonna get." So.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, I was pretty sad when that happened.
But yeah, waiting for Pacific Rim 3.
Do you think we'll get one?
It took us like forever to get Pacific Rim 2.
I know.
And like John Boyega had to fight for that too. Like,
yeah.
He was like, yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, that was... It was tricky because that movie was definitely only possible because the first movie did so well internationally, specifically in China.
Yeah.
Like China really made that movie profitable. And then there was, I wouldn't say it was in production hell, but it was in a lot of
hell.
Yeah, it was not as bad as some other movies, but it was in there. They couldn't agree on a script. And like they weren't sure who was going to direct, and then Del Toro wasn't going to direct. So it was like, but yeah, it feels like a fan fiction made into a movie of Pacific Rim. That's what it felt like to me watching it. Very sequel.
Yeah, I can see it had those sort of elements.
Yeah. Like
yeah, I watched
enjoyed
it a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watch it for the Jaegers and the moms and the kaijus.
I already like the universe, so I'm like, I'm gonna like anything they put out with this.
I'm gonna like anything. Give me the scraps, please. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Okay, but the sexy alien Jaeger.
Sexy alien Jaeger?
The Obsidian Fury, like they took the Gypsy Danger and they made like a black version of it that was like super sleek and shiny, and they were fighting each other.
I don't remember.
Oh.
You know the names of these robots, and to me they're robots.
It was the sexy evil robot. The kaiju one, the bad one. The bad Jaeger.
I don't remember. I don't know anything.
Okay, well.
My cat is so judgy.
Anyways, I'm glad you watched it.
Yeah,
even
I watched
if it's
it.
Kind of just an okay movie.
And I watched like the first 15 minutes of Heathers, and then I stopped because I fell asleep.
Oh. That's encouraging.
But the beginning was kind of like weird. I was like, I don't know if I want to go back to this. I might, I don't know, but it was.
I really want to see the musical.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really fun. But what was weird about the beginning?
I don't remember. It's been a while. Again, I just watch these things and I forget.
Oh.
I forget. No, yeah, I don't really remember. I don't mean weird, like weird. It was just like, again, because reading the synopsis is compared to like watching the movie, right? Like there's a whole bunch of details you miss.
Yeah, the execution.
So I was like, okay. And then like, okay, but it opens with like all the Heathers are playing croquet.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, here's one Heather goes, the second Heather goes, the third Heather goes, and then they go go to Winona Ryder, and she's like, it's just like her head popping up out of the ground, and she's like, and I'm like, what is this? And then it was like Heathers. I was like, what is happening? And then later they're like back at that house playing croquet again, and then it turns out to be Winona Ryder's house, and I'm like, wait, they're mistreating her like this at her own house, playing croquet in her own backyard. Anyway, I was like, but I wanted something I can kind of watch and not watch at the same time, so I ended up falling asleep because that was the purpose of me putting the movie on.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. We'll keep that
I will
in
try
mind.
again though. Eventually, it was on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I see. Okay. Cool. Well, we've got about an hour of this. I guess we can wrap up and close.
It's probably gonna be less, but that's okay.
Yeah, probably like 45 minutes. Short episode. Short and sweet. It's a pretty straightforward movie, I feel.
Yeah, there really wasn't like enough to question. Usually we get into a hot debate about stuff, but this one was like pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
So
All
Corinne,
right.
where can they find you?
You can find me at Corinne is Korean on Twitter and Instagram. Where can I find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Magic Monster. I changed my Instagram name. And you can find us at Don't Watch Movies on Twitter.
Nice. Love that consistency. I didn't know you changed your
I did. I figured you wouldn't. I figured this would be my big announcement to the world.
Wow.
Wow. I don't post enough on Instagram for it to be like a thing where you notice.
Yeah. You post more on George's Instagram.
Because he's my beautiful boy cat.
I know, I'm not judging, I'm just stating a fact. Alright,
He's
cool.
so cute even when he's being annoying.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.